Hey, Steve, how do you guys go about ensuring that you bring the kind of motion and ball movement that you had Sunday into Tuesday? How do you ensure that you do that again?
I don't know that we can ensure it. Those are habits that need to be formed over time. Hopefully we're inching towards that, but you have to go out and do it night after night to build that type of thing. I think it's the type of thing that takes teams usually a long period of time to make sure that they kind of have that identity and feel for what they're trying to accomplish offensively. Like as we know, this rotation, our rotation for the playoffs, we played 4 games together. So I don't know about ensure, but push, cajole, provoke. That's kind of more the message for us.
Michael Grady, Yes Network.
Hey, Coach. The stats, the mind-blowing stats, kind of speak for themselves. But what intangible was present in Game 4 that you don't believe was there in Game 3?
Yeah, I thought there was a willingness to give the ball up quickly and often. I think in Game 3 it was like we held the ball in the kind of thought of trying to solve every problem. And sometimes you just need to play, trust, move it, give it, get it back, move it again and play. And so, with the players we have that are so good with the ball, it's not going to be, the Princeton offense, but it can be, sharp, and it can be cutthroat in just simple, quick actions. So I thought the guys were really good at just sharing, moving it around, making quick decisions, and making it very difficult to defend them.
What has your experience taught you about closeout games?
Yeah, they can be the toughest game, no matter what. The team with their back against the wall, they have nothing to lose. They have one last chance, and they can get incredibly hot and confident, and the rim can get big because they know that summer's around the corner, and this is their last chance. So it can be the hardest game to close out. I think it's a test to your approach and your mentality, and having that just that competitive fire and will to do the job and to not relent in any way and not take anything for granted.
Brian Mahoney, Associated Press.
Hey, Steve, how do you balance your first time here as a coach, wanting to show confidence in your guys and maybe not send help to whoever's defending Jason Tatum, say, I know you can defend this guy, versus probably sending a guy is the right way with the lack of guys the Celtics have out there right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're not afraid to send help. It's more, I think, what is our team prepared to do? What are our guys willing and able to do? Given the amount of time we've had together, and what's the state of the game? Are we in a desperate position where we need to send help, or are we, able to weather, a tough patch from Tatum? So I think, we're willing as a coaching staff to do that. It's a matter of all the other parameters and context as to when and how we do it.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Steve, we talked kind of over and over again about the lack of time that these guys have had together on the court, but I'm wondering if, because it's a little bit more now and it'll be a little bit more again and again and again, can you see that comfort growing or changing in any tangible way? Or is there a point that you think you'll get to where it's like, yeah, we've got this now. We don't need to keep talking about the number of games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love talking about the number of games. It is what it is. This is, I mean, whatever you end up playing in the playoffs, if you go all the way, if it's 20 to 20, whatever, 8 games or whatever it is, that's nothing, So our team is so far from being fully formed, but that's not what we're talking about here. It's how well can we compete right now, and how quickly can we grow, and how can we advance what we're doing, on offense, on defense, and in situations, and how close can we come to an understanding in a short period of time. So it's not, I accept it. It's not, we don't want to give our players any outs or excuses. It puts context on what we can do in a short period of time as far as the direction we go in, and what's, it's just a different kind of context to how we approach this, right? Than if it was the second, third, fourth, fifth year we were running back in the playoffs. So that is kind of the context of how we approach things. But so we could talk about it the whole way through the playoffs, or we could just accept it and talk about other things. But that is the reality. These things take time.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, I've got two for you. First, did you guys find something in Game 3 when Tristan Thompson dominates the offensive glass for 9 offensive rebounds that night? Did you guys? This isn't going to be the first time that you guys are going to have. This is going to be the only time, that you guys have to deal with a dominant rebounding presence. So, did you guys find something in that game that you think can translate throughout the rest of these playoffs?
It's just the habit of going to the glass and being physical. He's can really affect games on the offensive boards, as we all know, with his physicality and toughness and his, that's his focus. And so we have to match that focus, and it can't just be one guy. He's the type of guy that's he's going to push and shove and root you under the basket. And, we don't have a lot of guys that are as physical in their makeup as he is. So we need 1 or 2 or 3 guys down there, 2 or 3 or more guys down there, not just one guy. So it's about habit forming. It's about the diligence to know the game plan, to get back on the glass, and to help your teammates. And if we are diligent with that thought process and that habit, or that becomes a habit, I think we can handle it. At least survive it. But if we're not, we take it for granted. If we just watch the ball go up and don't get back in numbers, if we aren't physical, if we're just there, that's when he can have a big game.
And second, just there's become a wide conversation about fan behavior, and I guess what beyond banning fans the NBA can do to kind of deter future fans from acting in this behavior. Do you have any idea of what it looks like going a step beyond banning a fan by any chance?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a hard thing to do, especially in the short term, to account for everyone in the stands. This type of stuff. I mean, it's happening more frequently right now in an NBA playoff context, but this type of stuff has happened forever. And so, we've had a little cluster of events that are unacceptable, and we'd like for that to not be a part of the experience at our games. But there's not always like a magic pill. Like, I don't know what we can do in the short term other than banning people. So it might take some time before kind of we find some solutions to eradicate it, or to have, a little bit more control over those situations. But it's just, it's happened forever. We just have a cluster right now, and we just hope it doesn't become more of a trend. And, but there's no like quick solution, I don't think.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Steve, how do you go about evaluating your defense? You gave up 126 points the other night, and yet Harden said he felt that the defense kind of fed into the efficient offense, and you got separation, big time separation in the second and third quarters. So how do you look at your defense and know that it's producing the way you need it to?
It's a great question. I mean, the defense was good when we needed it to be good enough. We created separation. When you get up 20, 25 points, the defense slips, which we don't love, but it's a part of that's human nature, fatigue, whatever it may be. But our defense is something that we want to continually improve on. So if I'm evaluating our defense, I'm always looking at what we can do better. And there was plenty that we can improve upon from game 2. And that's largely what we spent yesterday doing with our team was looking over situations that we can improve.
Justin Walters, Pix 11.
Hi, Steve. Sorry about that Wi-Fi issues. Because of the way Game 4 ended, do you sense that there's an extra sense of urgency or even motivation by your team to want to get this over with and not head back to Boston?
I hope the urgency is there just because we're competitors. I don't think anyone's worried about having to go back to Boston. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm saying that I don't think anyone's like, oh, I don't want to go back to Boston. I just think everyone's like, let's end this now. We have an opportunity to win the series. So, I thought other than, the water bottle and maybe a few incidents I'm unaware of, it's great. I was extremely jealous of our guys to get to go out and play in front of that atmosphere. So I think our guys enjoyed it. And, other than the few incidences, the experience is great to play playoff basketball on the road with a full house. So, let's hope we have a strong performance and mentality tonight and can end the series, but it's not like an extra motivation in a sense not to go back to Boston. It's just we have an opportunity to win at home and end this thing, and that should be our motive tonight.
Last question, Barbara Barker, Newsday.
Steve, as a player, you played against former teams, and I just wondered for you, can you look at Kyrie and what would it mean emotionally just to check this one off and get past this team?
Yeah, I think it would be nice for him to finish this and get that whole Boston experience in a sense behind him. That happened to me going back and playing Dallas in the playoffs the first year. It's and I don't know if he feels the same way, to be honest, but there is a little bit more to it. For me, I spent 6 years in Dallas, 6 very important and impressionable years, influential years in my career. So there was a lot of kind of, what's the word I want to say? Awkward, strange feelings in that experience. So I don't know how much of that he feels. I haven't really talked to him about it. But I'd imagine there would be another element of closure in a sense to finish the series off.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.